After 9 years of work in Vietnam and New Zealand by Plant and Food Research, 3 new cultivars of dragon fruit are close to being introduced to markets in partnership with varietal plant management company Venturefruit Global. In addition, a New Zealand trial is underway in Kerikeri to see whether this exotic crop, with its rapidly growing international market, can be grown here.
Dragon fruit is actually a climbing cactus, and it originated from Central and South America. And in fact, now it's considered as endangered species. At the moment, Vietnam is the biggest producer of this crop. They are growing about 65,000 hectares. But competition is, increasing, and there are more countries like India and China. They are increasing more and more of it now. And in terms of the consumption, China is still the biggest consumer. But even like Europe, North America, the fruit is becoming more popular, and therefore it's becoming more known across the world. So what we are looking at here is the different stages of the fruit development. Like that's a floral bud. It takes about 2 weeks for the floral bud to fully develop and open as a flower. And once it's pollinated, then the fruit development starts. So you see different stages of fruit maturity. That fruit here is fully mature now, but it took almost 2 months for it to get to this stage. Although in Vietnam, it takes only about 4 weeks. So that's the impact of the temperature. This one we are looking at is more, we call semi-wild variety. You see the spikes, they are quite long, whereas for the commercial variety that we have developed, their spikes are very tiny, so it's easy to handle them. So in day-to-day activities, you don't get spiked by the long spikes. By looking at the color of the floral buds, like in this case, you see those pink at the tips, the pink color. That indicates what color the flesh will be. The material that we are evaluating here in Kerikeri, it was, I'm talking about the 3 cultivars that we have the IP of, and that material was developed in Vietnam. Dragon fruit is not native to New Zealand, so importing the material is not easy. All the biosecurity risk, which is fair enough. So the material, if we bring it in cuttings, it takes a lot longer to get through the pipeline from a biosecurity point of view. So it's a lot more straightforward to bring them in the tissue culture. So that's what we have done. Orchard production system that we are using at the moment, we call it a T-bar. So that was developed as part of our project in Vietnam. One of the production system, and it can actually compare to a traditional mop top system that they use in Vietnam. The T-bar system can increase the yield even double. I think the fruit can be grown here like there is like in the northern hemisphere, their off season is like December, January, February, around that time, whereas that season is like a peak season for the southern hemisphere. The new varieties that we have developed, they're all red skin, but their flesh color is different. Once we licensed these varieties to Venturefruit, so now they are taking the responsibility to grow worldwide, and they are conducting their own consumer studies as well.
And Satish, the flavour of the pink flesh dragon fruit's coming up strong? Yeah. Venturefruit is born out of Turners and Growers Global as their intellectual property business. And what we do is scour the globe for really unique and interesting new generation genetics of apples, pears, berries, and now tropicals, dragon fruit. And what we do is go out there and use our global network and our global capabilities that we've learned from those years of working alongside Turners and Growers to connect breeders and genetic developers to growers, marketers, and commercialisation parties for great genetics. As part of that, we do all of the global licensing, we do the intellectual property protection, and we also build these great varieties into products. We've got quite a rich history with Plant and Food Research, working with their products like Jazz and Envy. And interestingly enough for us, through the cyclone and a number of other events globally, we've been looking to diversify some of our interests away from being just an apples focused business And we work really closely with Plant and Food Research, who really is a leader in that genetic development space and variety and variety breeding. And they highlighted this amazing new product, dragon fruit. And funnily enough, at the same time, we'd also noted the excitement around dragon fruit globally, and it was a great match. So excellent science capability, coupled with also our specialties around connecting those great genetics to the world. We're working with Software and Plant and Food Research on 3 special unique varieties. Dragon fruit have a very subtle flavour, but what we have found is the red flesh dragon fruit has a stronger flavour than the white flesh, but the white flesh stores better. So we've picked up these 3 amazing new varieties that bring that flavour and storage ability together to create a great package of not only a white, but also now a pink and a red flesh variety that has the ability to store and ship better globally with a better texture, but also add more to that flavour profile that some people think is maybe a bit too subtle. Venture Fruit itself doesn't market the produce, but what we do is develop these varieties into a product. So we're working with our consumer deep dive work with dragon fruit in a number of our key markets, including the US and Europe, not only Asia, and Australasia, to identify what a good brand would be to fit with that product. And then we're engaging now with significant scaled vertical marketers that have growing connections also to start to bring this to market. And what we're really striving for is to bring some discipline in the supply chains. The consumer knows what they're getting and gets a great experience from something that has otherwise been a commodity.